Sorry to interrupt this wonderful track from Bonus Points here. I mean, I have something really, really big to say. So, if you happen to be in Zurich or around Switzerland in 1 week, so this also means that you need to listen to this episode on time, so straight after it went live. On August 28th, 2025, we are kicking off the number 2 Zurich Cycling Movie Night. So basically, Zurich Cycling Movie Night number 2 is gonna go live at the theater of the University of Irchel, Zurich, and we are gonna stream Les Coursiers, the awesome story from Marine de Saint-Exupéry for a production of Pertex and Albion Cycling, directed by Finlay Newmark. Amazing story of Marine I think it was actually shot in 23, so straight before his idea of participating and taking part to the all mountain races, moving in different countries and in different continents, only with his bike, and it's just an amazing masterpiece. You come over, you watch it together with our community, and you drink some alcohol-free beers, Zier, Zipa, and Nina, completely for free. So drinks are gonna be on the BroomWagon and on Zier Brewing. You just need to enjoy the film. If you want, please get your ticket. It's completely free. The link is in the description below. See you later. Roll on the music.
And hello everybody and welcome to BroomWagon. You will not get there on a road bike. How you doing, people? Here is everything quite more or less alright, I would say. Cycling wise, not really the best. After me being at Pedaleo, I got problems with both my, how would you say, something like sporty bikes, because my gravel bike after Pedaleo, I think I actually pulled too much the life of my rear brake pads, and this meant that actually I fucked up a bit the piston. So workshop, and now they're trying to fix it. Maybe I need to change brakes as well. Anyways, I need to change bikes. I have to do a lot of things. And also my road bike, I thought, okay, this is off. I can ride a bit more on the road. But also there, I had a little problem with my front hub. So the hub of my front wheel. And that's super crazy. I mean, it's kind of right on point. Also because this episode of today is brought to you by Hunt Wheels. And actually, this wheel that I have is not a Hunt one. I mean, after a lot of use, if you don't maintain it super well, every wheel and every bike can have some problems. And I'm not the best maintainer, for sure. I'm not really good on keeping my bike up and running with the proper services. But yeah, I basically fucked it up, the front hub. I don't know what happened, probably putting the bike in and out or whatever, but the bearings went completely fucked. But that's another story. It was just a good link talking about Hunt that is sponsoring this episode, and you're gonna hear a bit more about the episode in a tiny bit. I was actually roaming around on the Hunt Wheel website in the last days because of several reasons. The classic actually reasons. Check out what's new there and everything around that. And I got to know that Hunt, who I already know that they are really taking care a lot about sustainability, and sustainability is going to be a big topic in this episode, but trying to pull a bit the, how would you say, something like the good way of doing things in the wheel production world. And actually they are now producing this awesome wheel set. I think there are 3 wheel sets, and the project is called, let me see because I don't want to make mistakes, Sustain Phase 1, so recycled wheels. So sets of wheels with a good high on the sustainability. Basically, the idea is that all the wheels are produced in Europe using recycled materials for the rims, carbon and alloy, and also using some spokes that are coating free, so actually easier to be recycled as well. And it's just another step towards sustainability and everything that needs a bit more of a closer eye. Because as I say all the time, just because we are riding bikes, we are not green superhero. So we need also to try to understand and to choose where our consumer point of view, our consumer's wallet is investing some money. And Hunt is going in the right direction. They're doing a lot for the community. They're doing a lot for sustainability. They're just awesome people. If you want to know more about everything, down in the description below, I'm going to put a link so you can check the project that I'm talking about, the Sustain Phase 1. And also you can get a bit more of an overview. They are also doing discounts there. So I believe that actually is a good time to check a bit more. And if you are in the market for a new wheel set, Hunt is your solution. Let's go into the episode. But first, if you want to know anything, just keep yourself up to date, or you want to send me a message, is Calamaro CC or BroomWagon Podcast on the Instagram. And remember to rate, subscribe, do whatever you want in your podcast provider of choice. Episode of today, I will be talking with Raphael Albrecht, aka Mr. Orbit 360, aka Mr. Gravity Festival, aka Mr. Sneak Peeks, this event in the Dolomites that is going to be happening in a bit less than 1 month, I think 3 weeks. You're going to hear everything about it. You're going to hear also how we go to know each other. And this is the second time that Raphael is on the BroomWagon, and that's super amazing. He's an amazing person. He's an amazing friend, and everything he does, he put everything he could inside. And we're going to talk as well a lot about sustainability, inclusion, and his approach that is quite similar to mine, the why not approach. If you have to do something, why not doing it? Not wait to anybody else doing it for you. And that's incredible. I talked a lot this time. We are gonna hear and we are gonna talk again at the end of the episode, just to wrap everything up. But now, Calamaro and Raphael, Stefano and Raphael, kick it off. It has been ages, Rafa, last time that we talked, because I remember that we talked when for your launch or the, how was it called? The Ride for a Reason, right?
Yes.
Of Orbit
Yes.
360. I think it was 2020. And now we are here again, sitting and discussing about how Orbit 360 developed in the last years. Maybe, and I will actually, then you can talk freely, but I want to give just a little summary. Raphael and I, we met, it was Tong Pass, one of the first passes, actually. No, Sulku Lake in Kyrgyzstan, 2019 for the Silk Road Monterey's edition number 2. I mean, I think that Nelson that time made an amazing job because most of the people that I talked to during that event, they're still friends, and that's amazing. But we met there. It was actually Raphael's first bikepacking event, ultra endurance event of his life. And you still had a 9-to-5 job at that time. I remember it was kind of, let's say, normal life, living in Berlin. And then since then, it was actually that. Then we met as well at the Atlas Monterey the year after. And then Orbit 360 came out and a lot of other things, other challenges joined your life. And now we are here again talking about yourself, another couple of events, and now you are doing. So, Raphael, how are you doing?
I'm good. Hey, there was a nice conclusion of the last years when we have met. I was jobless at the time when we met. That's
already
like
in Silk Road Monterey.
Yeah, already. I quit my job already. I started cycling a lot at this time, and I didn't have a job at this time.
Okay.
But everything else was more than correct.
Okay, I mean, it's nice.
And you borrowed me earphones.
Okay. Oh, yes, this is something maybe we need to mention this episode, and everything else is probably in the first episode that we recorded. I
Yeah.
was in the car and you were in front of me. From the car, I was listening to a podcast coming from in front of me. And this podcast was actually my voice. And I would say, what the hell? I mean, I've been probably editing is actually driving me crazy. I can hear my voice from outside. That's crazy. Then I came closer to you. And then I said, what the hell are you listening? I am listening to the official podcast of the race. Fucking hell, that's my voice. And then we got actually to chat. But why are you listening on speakers? Because I lost my headphones. And then I borrow you my headphones. I mean, the earplugs. And I hope that
Saved my life.
they were still alive until the end of the race. So that's nice. I don't know if
Yes.
it was actually really regular, the things that we did, because it's unsupported. But I talked with Nelson that time and he said that he was all right. Just shush. And then
Yeah.
you shushed.
Yeah.
No, but this was super. And you were telling me actually that you were riding on podcasts, baby. And you're still doing it. So when you do your rides now, it's actually a lot of scouting, a lot of long rides. Are you still listening to podcasts?
Yes, a lot. It's time to find enough time during working periods to listen to podcasts, because then I need to be focused, and like working on a laptop, it's difficult if you listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
But if I'm on the bike, I'm listening to many podcasts. Not many different podcasts, but always the same, because I like the people. Like, I'm listening a lot to your podcast,
Thank
of course. Got like 5-6 favorite podcasts, and I'm always listening them.
That's nice. Thanks a lot, Raphael. So, I mean, we talked about 2019. Then we talked about 2020 with the Orbit 360. Now we are in 2025. So, how can we bridge the gap of information between 2020 and 2025? Tell us more. What are you doing?
Yeah, now, like you said, I started with Orbit 2020. I think actually we spoke 2021.
Could be.
When I started Ride with a Reason. So it's still happening. Gravel Series is still on. It's actually on right now. Same for Ride with a Reason. I'm having a community ride with the Steppenwolf gang tomorrow, because Ride for a Reason changed a bit when we all survived COVID and there was no banning of riding together anymore.
Yeah.
I changed the concept a bit, and I wanted to encourage people to ride together. So now we are offering community rides. The last 2 years we offered community rides on like normal routes, and this year we switched to riding them on the orbits,
Nice.
that were scouted by the scout. So it's always like, it's a quite like tough community ride with the Steppenwolf gang. It's gonna be 180 kilometer. We're doing it on 2 days, so
Okay.
we are starting tomorrow, then sleep all together in a nice like bivvy place, and then we finish on Saturday, which is super cool, because then you really get to know the people.
Absolutely.
If you like, community rides are always nice, and especially when you're riding off-road for longer distances, you have enough time to talk to each other, to take breaks, to have coffee. But doing it as an overnighter, this is going to be next level.
Yes, absolutely. No, but it's absolutely super beautiful, because I mean, that's probably, how would I put this? That's probably the main goal, right, of everything that you are doing. I mean, for sure, you have in your mind the experience that you got in your ultra endurance racing, that is exploring new places and absorb as much as possible this amazing planet that where we happen to live in. And it's not super easy nowadays to be outside and enjoy it, but it's also enjoying the real part that makes cycling so special, that is the community. And that's another thing most probably that you also experience on your races, but you wanted to put on the next level. That's why it's everything really community-based, people-based, enjoying time together.
Yeah, actually, when you're talking about this, it's funny, because for Sneak Peeks, which is the new event that I started last year with, my idea was to make the route as brutal as possible, just to make people sticking together. So
Nice.
the event is happening in the Dolomites, and I wanted to, like, there are many reasons why I went to the Dolomites. I chose Posano as a start and finish location because it's a no flight ride event. I didn't want to encourage people to take plans just like for a few days of cycling. So that was one main point for me of how to decide where I want to do the event. And then also Dolomites are very, very steep, very rough. And I also wanted to include local infrastructure. So until now, I spoke with over 50 refugios.
Nice.
It's the mountain huts that are always located on the very, very, very top of the mountain of the summit. And I met so many people, and I asked them if they want to be a checkpoint of the event. And like most of them, they were super happy. And then of course I decided if they have like kind of a sneaky peek vibe and if it would fit in the event. And now for this year's, I've got 14 checkpoints. And my goal was to find the best refugios that are located on the toughest section, so people they can go up there. They're gonna hate this section sometimes, not all the times, but they're gonna be in the nicest nature, nicest environment. When they get to the refugio, when they go up to the checkpoints, it's not a checkpoint where you just like take a selfie and then continue. It's very warm people over there. They have food, they have drinks. So when you make it until the top, that people gonna take a break because they're just like tired. They're exhausted. And that's the situation where they stick together, where they talk about the route, where they just have a coffee together. And then in most of the times, they left the refugees together. So while in the past 2 years, like races like TCR, they disqualified people because they were riding together for 30 minutes or something. And when I heard all of these stories, I do understand them from a race point of view a bit. Like I didn't understand the specific situations, but the general thing I understand, because if it's a race, there has to be routes. So that's why I decided, hey, I want to do an ultra bikepacking event because I think it's very important to bring people together. But I don't want to have too many routes because actually I think you remember Guy Jennings. He
100%.
has become one of my best friends ever. And he just finished Tour Divide. He's
Absolutely.
61.
He wrote me not super long ago. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. He's like South African, 61. I wouldn't have met him ever if it wouldn't be in a bikepacking event. And it would be so sad if you meet people in a bikepacking event. They are so similar to you because we are all a bit of, I don't know, crazy, whatever. Not normal, maybe.
No, not regular people. Let's put it this way.
Exactly. And I was like, hey, if I do an event, I want to bring people together. It worked for the Gravity Festival with a kind of festival vibe techno thing. And now with Sneak Peeks, the idea was to make the route as hard as possible. So make people riding together, because riding it alone, Max was the only rider last year who was able to ride alone for most of the route. Everyone else, they stick together because the climbs, they're so steep. And if you do this alone, it gets mental. Also for me, also why I scouted everything.
You scout it by yourself though. So it's a solo scouting session. Yeah.
3 or 4 times each route. I've done hundreds of thousands of elevation meters gain. And I know how it feels. And I always thought, hey, if you do this together, it's a very nice experience because it makes you stick together and it bonds.
Yeah. I mean, I want just to mention, there's going to be a lot of mentions here, but you were talking about Guy, right? The fact is that if you still can get to listen that famous, for me as well, at least, episode series on the official account from the Silk Road Monterey, I think it disappeared. Something happened there. Anyways, there is the story of Guy, because Guy was the one pedal hero. Because he broke, because he broke his crankset really beginning of the race, so really early days of the race, something like before checkpoint 1, and then he had to walk until the next checkpoint, or at least to fix he had to walk until the checkpoint, then he got a cab, go into the city, Bishkek, fixing the crankset, because I mean it was actually pedaling with just one pedal at a certain point. Then he got back, he started again the route, and after checkpoint 2, he broke a pedal, and then he had actually to get back, get a plastic pedal, put it on, and then he finished the race. And he has been doing these things forever. So
even later on Tong Pass, like that I met him 2 times in the race, and the first time was like the crank thing, like the first thing when he only had one pedal, and then on the second time, so I overtook him in the race, but we didn't see each other, and he was sleeping, I guess, again. It always happened. He was sleeping. I overtook in the night, and then on Tong Pass he was coming down, and I saw a light coming down, and I was wondering, hey, who's coming down now? And it was him. And he went up almost the entire Tong Pass, and then he decided I have to go back and then find a new pedal. And then I think like a father gave him his daughter's pedal from like from a kid bike.
Yes, that's the story. Yes. Yeah. I mean, again, it's everything documented in that podcast, and it's great. I think that actually the concept that then now became, I had a talk actually recording with Nelson a few weeks back, but now they are doing these golden tagine things, the most heroic or the most weird stories and experiences that are happening during the race. Everything started from there. I mean, I remember I was in Czech. I was called something like the car, something like the media car number 2. And there we started giving nicknames to everybody, and the story of the single pedal hero actually became everything. And then I remember that Nelson himself told the story during the event. So I mean, he was kind of an icon of that edition. Incredible.
Legend guy. Greetings to you.
Absolutely. Hopefully actually is listening to that. Getting back to the whole concept, and then we're going to go probably a bit more into details, but then everything started with orbit, right? Then you developed, I mean, still into the orbit, you developed the Ride for a Reason. Then it's actually the Gravity Festival, now the Sneak Peeks. So you developed actually all these concepts. There are some values, you are actually mentioning them, really on the backbone of these events, on your organization, what you are. Tell us more about that. You talked already about sustainability things. You talked already about inclusion and community, but probably it makes a lot of sense to talk about the concept itself and the values.
Yeah, I think the overall concept of all Orbit 360 events is just to make them accessible to the broader cycling community, because what I realized in the last years is events, they're getting more expensive, like really, really expensive. And I actually understand it from an organizer's point of view, because the world is changing, things are getting more expensive, and just to pay the bills, you have to increase entry fees. But then again, like, it's, for me, the cycling community was always kind of punk community, and this is changing right now, I think, with all the social media world, sending a picture where cycling has to look like very lean. You have to have this bike and all the stuff, and I'm trying with the Orbit events to be inclusive to everyone.
Come as you are. Everybody's welcome.
Come as you are, but also try to make the entry fees not too expensive. I've started with I'm calling it Cosmic Care Fund. That's the idea is to take money, or to ask wealthier people if they want to donate, and if they donate, like if they just pay a bit of extra of the normal entry fees, and if they do, I'm gonna match their donations and double the amount. So we have this year we had €700 in the Cosmic Care Fund, and that's the budget where I can offer super discounted tickets for people with a tighter budget, no matter if they don't have a job right now. If they're still students, I think we should have a look to younger people as well, because most people that I know from cycling, they started after they they finished university and they started their job, they earned some proper money, and then they were able to buy like first a bike, and then like we all know it's not only a bike, it's
Absolutely.
hundreds and thousands of euro of equipment and stuff that you need for those events. So yeah, that's the idea, to make it a bit more even. Ask the wealthier people who don't really care if they donate 50 euro or more, and then match those donations. I'm gonna put my investments or donations in it as well.
Yeah.
And then and it works. Like we've got for sneak peeks, we've got 22 sort cosmic care tickets, and this is super nice to see, because then you really see that it's not only doctors and attorneys joining the events, but it's also students, younger people, people who just want to, like everyone says, we just want to ride a bike, but in reality, it's a long way to ride a bike. It's like it's nice in a marketing point of view to say it, but in reality, it's a long way to get there, and not many people can go there because they just don't have the financial needs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's super important, the financial need, and I mean, the financial support in terms of equity, where wealthier people are paying for people that, in general, they don't have enough money actually to take part to it. And that's absolutely super important. And then it's also the spirit, right? Something like, no worries, you're going to be taken care of. And even, just, and that's another thing that we're going to also discuss about that later, is talking about that. Because, I mean, of course, usually good kind of intentions and good moves, it's all right, even if they stay silent. But talking about the fact that all the transversal, something like the diagonal part of the community wants to take part to these events, because outside is nice and doing it with other people is nice. But everybody wants to take care of it, and everybody wants to be outside. And talking about that is super important. Otherwise, we are just... and showing it, of course, he's talking about that and doing it, but talking about the fact that some people cannot be wealthy enough, because it's not only the bike, it's also the equipment, it's also taking out days from work, that most of the time probably there are people that they cannot do it because it's going to be being less paid or not getting money out of it. So putting everything on the plate, they're showing to people that going on a bike is not something that just a few people can do, even if there is a label everybody can do it, but in order to have everybody doing it, we need to do something ourselves. That's super important. That's, in my opinion, that's something that should not be silent. But saying, look, riding the bike, even if you have already a bike, or even if you have everything already, is not for free because it's super expensive. That's something that probably we need to say. We need to equalize it.
Yes, 100%.
That's super important. And I mean, also talking about that is another thing that I would love to talk about, that because there is also another huge aspect that you put in your events, and is the environmental event. The easiest one to start the conversation, but there is a lot more, and probably we're going to go into that. But the easiest to talk about is the no flights rule for the sneak peeks. I want to make, because I would love to talk this thing, and this is actually having you here. It's amazing, so we can touch base on the topic. We all saw the social media post of Matthew Van Der Poel, let's call it out, being in partner with this private jet company and advertising it. And then I believe that actually his comment, I mean, the advertising or the social media post is what it is. It's there. We all see it. But then I believe that the comment that he put when actually how would you say, something like the comments were starting piling up was even worse. Yes. Because when he said, I mean, I do it as a job, and for me it's important to recover and to have fast recovery instead of taking flights with everybody else. This was even worse, in my opinion, because it's not only putting the accent and the stress on I go out with a private jet and I already pollute the world, but it's also because I'm more important than anybody else, or at least this is my job, I'm gonna not only make it not environmentally sustainable, but I'm gonna also make it exclusive. And this was so bad. I mean, I saw actually that you also put a comment out there, but give me your 2 cents, not on that. That's actually, I'm gonna keep my opinion there. You don't need to comment on that, but if you don't want. But on the other side, give me your 2 cents on why you decided to make the event fly free.
I think the world is changing right now. Huh? The last few years they're crazy, and we all grew up in a world where only economic rise was important, and now I think it's important to see, hey, it's not growth that we need; it's maintenance what we
Yes.
need. Like we all love to say, we are riding our bikes and a nice nature, and when we go to places where not many people can go, but everyone has an responsibility. And I mean, what Fanda put it, this is just out of the world, and I think he's just a like kind of a young kid, and he doesn't even know they are cycling every day, and I hope if he reads comments like this, maybe he's not ready to reflect, but maybe in a few years time. But for our little bikepacking community, it's I don't know. We all want to ride bikes. We all want to be in nature, and we have to do something for it. Like we can't expect the planet to be super nice to us, but then at the same time destroying it. Yeah, so it would actually now Nelson is doing an event in Turkey. I had Turkey on my list a few years ago already, but then I always decided if I want to do an event, I don't want to encourage people to take planes. And even though like I'm taking planes if I go on long trips where I can't go like by train or bus, so I'm not that person who bans flights over everything.
No.
But if I do an event and I've got, I don't know, between 100 and 200 people attending it, I want them to arrive there by sustainable travel options. So also for me, it was kind of a economic decision because you need to find the location that the people attracts. It wouldn't make any sense to do an event and then claim it flight free, but then no one shows up because it's just a boring event or something. So this doesn't have anyone. So I choose Busano because I thought it's very accessible by train, by car. 90% of the participants are from Central Europe, so it's easy for them. I'm actually receiving not many, but a few mails from people from the United States that really want to attend, and it hurts to tell them, no, you can't. I'm very sorry, but this is not an event for you. And then some people, they're very angry, and it's like, hey, this is another level of exclusivity. But then I'm trying to explain it to them. It's like, hey, you're living in the United States, you have many events on your continent, and I know for you it hurts because you want to see Europe, and I understand, but right now is not the right time, and maybe we should stay local for now, and maybe I don't know what's happening in 10 years. Maybe we can fly more sustainable, friendly, I don't know. But right now I think we should like take the responsibility that the planet will be maintained, the beauty like it is now, and stay a bit more local. And also me as an organizer, like we are setting off all CO2 emissions for all events as well. So this is also a financial aspect of me. I'm taking some money from the entry fees, and then we calculate with Joost. I don't know if you know him, Joost Lietzen. He was riding Atlas Mountain Race in 2022.
No, I know him, I think.
Yeah, he has a sustainability consulting company, and he's really into it. And we are creating a CO2 balance sheet. And so in the end, we set off all CO2 emissions, which is on my financial side, another challenge. But I think it's important if we do events to send a vision, to send some values, because in the end, people attending, I was influenced by your podcast. I was influenced by Johanna Janke. She doesn't do the podcast anymore, but this is how I approach the sustainability thing. And I think now if I do an event, I want to approach people. And it's not only this one flight that they take or take not to any event, but it makes them thinking about, hey, okay, there's actually flying is not cool. So maybe I shouldn't fly to other events as well. Or if I have a car, I should use my bike to go to some places that are not far away from my home.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, because I'm a great fan of what you are doing, I want actually to stress another point because, I mean, of course, you're telling us that you're actually, telling to people that want to come for the event, exclusive for the sneak peeks from US, you're saying, look, probably this is not the right event for you. But also on the other side, you're also encouraging, and that's something that you actually wrote, probably in a social media post, that if people anyways are coming here to Europe anyways, so they are from US, but they're coming here for longer vacation, more cultural experience on everything, they are welcome. The point is that probably in 2025, it's not sustainable to fly only for 1 week, 10 days, make a race, and then get back, because there are many other places to be discovered close to you. And probably this is going to be more sustainable for the environment, but also for yourself, because you're changing your mindset. So this is actually something that is not super sustainable. But if you're coming already here, I mean, encouraging people spending more time in the places where they're coming to do stuff instead of only coming and leaving just for a single event. So it's not sightseeing, being there, done that. That's not a philosophy anymore, but being there and absorb as much as you can in order to make things working.
Yeah. And actually, speaking of this, Guy is actually coming this year because Guy is originally from the United States and his mother is still living there. So he's flying to the, not United States, United Kingdom, England, sorry.
Okay.
He's going to visit his mother in summer, and then he's going to take a train to Sneak Peeks, and he's going to do that's the perfect bridge. He's doing the party pace petrol for the adventure route in Sneak Peeks.
Okay.
And
nice.
Party pace petrol is another thing. This is like a switch to inclusion now.
Yeah.
I know that the Sneak Peeks route, they are super, super tough. Like it's between 500 and 1,100 kilometer, and the 500 kilometer route has 17,000 meters of elevation gain, and the long one has 40,000 meters of elevation gain.
Wow!
So it's the highest. It's the most difficult event if you have a look at elevation gain per 100 kilometers. And I wanted to also talk to people who are not that experienced in bike picking. And then I had the idea to come up with a party pace petrol. So the party pace petrol is experienced riders. Guy is one of them, the only min. All of the others, it's Isabel from Komoot, even though she's injured right now. But then it's gonna be Lisa, Max's girlfriend, actually.
Yes.
She did the event last year, and she's gonna be party pace petrol this year. Then I have to think about, I forgot. Marion, winner from Tracker, winner from Badlands.
Yeah.
So they are all
Super
doing,
Marion.
Super Marion.
Yes, on the Instagram. Yes, I met her last year in Lausanne. So yeah.
Yeah, nice. Another great event.
Yes, and I mean the organizers are just amazing.
Yeah, I know them. Yeah, nice. So the party pace petrol is they're riding set daily stages. So people who are afraid of riding, sleeping, being alone, they can just stick to them. So the party pace petrol there is doing their own thing. But if people want to ride with them, they always know, hey, they're highlighted on Dot Watcher with another color. We create a Komoot collection before, and where they can find the daily stages. So they can always stick with them and ride in a group with very experienced riders. Like all of them are very good riders, experienced, they know what to do if they have any problems in an event. So this is from the inclusion point of view, another step where we try to make it more accessible for riders that are not so experienced, but still want to ride a demanding route.
That's incredible. But this is happening actually for the both
Um,
lets, or just for the big one?
for all of
For
the
all of them.
like it's three distances, and guys the only one for the adventure, because I thought actually for the adventure we didn't actually need it. Everyone who's registering for for a route with 40,000 meters of climbing, they know what they're doing. And that was in like last year, it was like this adventure people, they were well prepared, even though they were kind of shocked by the weather, because we had a lot of snow. But especially for classic and entree, this is more entry level, with a lot of climbing though. And yeah, so we've got 2 party pace petrol each for entree and classic distance.
That's super nice. I mean, honestly, and that's I didn't make my own works. Sorry, my own work. I didn't know about that. And that's
Mm-hmm.
super amazing, Raphael. It's incredible
Yeah.
because I mean that's the most of the time is the blocker, isn't it? I would love to do something like this. I would love to go riding in the Dolomites, but doing it by
Yeah,
myself. And then of course, I
exactly.
mean, we only know the little stories because they're just little of the people that say, okay, I'm gonna actually take the leap and I'm gonna do it anyways, and then they enjoy, they finish, and whatever. But there are not so many. I think that the majority of the people would just get back and say, look, I would love to do it, but it's too much to me. Giving
Yeah.
to the people, to the community, this opportunity is a game changer because then this is going to be, I mean, as soon as you do the first one, you're gonna starting, how would you say, collecting experience points like in the card games. And once you collect the experience point, then you would love to do something more. But you need to start from somewhere, and this is the best way to start with.
Yeah. Yeah. It worked okay last year. We had 2 party pace patrons already, but they were a bit too fast because it's always in the first edition, it's very difficult to estimate how fast a rider's gonna be. So this year we adjusted a bit, and I know many people texted me already and they registered because they know there is
Nice.
a party pass petrol, and they will start alone and they will push. But if they feel like it's a bit too much, they have a bad day, they're like mentally it gets challenging. Before they scratch, they always know they can go back or ride to the party pace petrol. There are more people. They sometimes they sleep together in a refugio. So it becomes more like a group ride, and you still finish. And I think only finishing sneak peeks is quite an achievement because it's it's pretty
Absolutely.
tough.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you wanted to do it in the hard way, right?
Yes, but actually I wanted to include. I didn't go to the Dolomites. I wanted to create the I don't like disclaims, and people they told me last year that I didn't know that it's so hard because I didn't say it in in the first place. Where I was like, yeah, I don't want to be the guy who says we are the hardest race on the world,
Of
blah blah blah.
course.
This is another marketing claim, but now I have to say I would never say it's the hardest event, but it's a very 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 demanding event, and yeah, it comes with the refugios. The idea to include refugios because I thought if I go to Italy, I want to include local infrastructure. I want to include the people living
Of
there.
course.
So this is why I'm very close with all of the refugio. There's super super nice people. Also the start and finish location, we are very close, and it feels more welcoming than just going yeah, if I would have chosen, I don't know, any other countries, you go there, you do your event, and then you leave, and yeah, the place doesn't benefit from
No, of
anything. Like
course.
you benefit from them, you benefit from the nature, you benefit from the nice people, and everyone is telling like Hellenic Greece, everyone is selling, yeah, it's nice people, it's cheap food, it's all good. But in the end, I think it's also our responsibility to give something back. If we choose a location where we can ride our bike, it's also our responsibility to make it nice for the next 10 years. If it gets bigger, and if you look at events like Ironman or these places,
Of course.
this is just like a massive economic boost, and it helps hotels, and it's okay for like it helps a lot of people, but it also harms a lot of people who are not able to take any benefit out of this.
Yeah, absolutely. No. That's absolutely a super, super fair point. So, I mean, as soon as you don't want to be, I'm going to put it strong here, the cruise of the bikepacking events, because, I mean, cruises are super well known that they don't spend any money locally. They
Exactly.
arrive there with their big boats. They
Yeah.
arrive in a place. They just probably destroy all the arbors and the nature around it. They arrive into a place, people go out, have a round, come back, and then they eat in the cruise, they sleep on the cruise, whatever. They don't leave anything for the local communities.
Yeah.
And that's something that, I mean, I have to say that most probably 90%, honestly, for what I experienced, of the organizers, they like to, even 95, they like to develop the local infrastructures. So having checkpoints that are run by local people, and also bike mechanics that they need to check the bike or anything, they are local people. So there's a lot that can be do there for sure, but still, I mean, the base is super good. But also on the other side, the risk, always the risk is that you put your people there, you do your own things there, you go, you leave, and nothing, and nobody benefits out of the race. And that's something that cruises can do. Probably for us, it's better not to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like tourism, how you always have to look, if you go to places, how can they benefit from you as well?
Of course.
And yeah.
No, but that's super nice. That's super incredible, actually. I wanted actually to touch base. I mean, no, that's something that we need to say before moving a bit the topic. So the event, when is going to happen? We talked about sneak peeks. So when the event starts, and maybe we need to say these little things that is not super public now, but we still have time to subscribe, right?
Yes. September started September 4 and 5. So the adventure route, they start a day earlier, because I was hoping that I wanted to make people finishing a bit closer together so we can all chill in the finish area. And then classic and entree day will be starting on the 5th. And registration is still open for another 2.5 weeks. So it closes 1 month before the event, so it closes on August 4.
Okay, that's perfect. So we still have time. I have to be completely sincere. I'm a bit wobbly in terms of planning in general of my life, but now it's even less precise. But most probably this episode is gonna go live before the subscription to close.
And of course, I was late in anything. I mean, Stefano, the other one, not telephone voice. Stefano was late with everything. So subscriptions are closed, but still, shall I say these kind of things? Send a message. Send a message in case you really want to take part to sneak peeks. I'm just saying it without telling anything to Rafa, but if you send a message, maybe you can make something happen. In case, just say, Calamaro, telephone voice Calamaro told me that. Raphael, you are doing awesome.
So probably still people, you have time, and I don't know. Dolomites, honestly, I have to say that Dolomites, it's a place of my heart in terms of riding. It was one of the first big rides that I've done in my life. It was in the Dolomites. But I have to say that I only, in my life, experienced Dolomites on a road point of view. So I can't imagine how much better the off-road experience is going to be. So
it's crazy. It's tough. It's like there's not many perfect gravel sections, so it's quite rough.
No champagne gravel is in the Dolomites.
Yes, sometimes, but not a lot. And it's steep. I've never been on roads I think that's the same for road, but off-road it's even steeper. There are like some sections where you reach 30%, and not only for 10 meters, like for a couple of 100 meters, and it's crazy.
Okay, okay. I love it. I love it. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's amazing. And so yeah, sneak peeks coming soon, but even sooner, right? Is coming another event of your portfolio. And I'm talking about the Gravity Festival. Also there, I would love actually you to touch base on the event itself. And I mean, it comes everything together with bicycles and music, right? That these are two passions of yours.
Yeah, bicycles, music, and there's another culture. And I started this year to do a bit of trail running as well. So
Ah,
it moves a bit to more like a sports outside activity thing, still with cycling as a big focus. And then also having like techno music and cultural elements. So a usual day they would look like people they go on the bike or doing trail runs in the morning, then they come back at like late lunch, and then we've got many workshops and speaker sessions. Like the workshops are yoga and flow sessions. We've got ice bathing, like with a certified Wim Hof instructor. We've got a cacao ceremony. We've got like a very nice new thing. It's called Abstrakte Frequenzen. It's kind of a painting workshop with a DJ set, like with a techno set.
nice.
They joined last year, and then they texted me, and they want to do this workshop. So I'm very excited about this. And then of course we have many speaker sessions, nice people
Yeah.
talking. Yeah, this will happen on like afternoon, and then in the evening we open first the open air floor, and then we go in the club for the night. And then like people are having a good and long night in the club, and then on the next day they go back on the bike.
That's nice. And this is a 3 day festival.
Yeah, 3 day. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
super nice. When and
It's
where?
it's in the Eifel this year. I did it the last years close to Berlin in Schlaubetal.
Mm-hmm.
It's 90 minutes east from Berlin. Actually, last year, then I found a new location because I realized it's not far away from the Polish border, and it's a long way to people from the west and from the south. So I was looking for another location, and then I found a place called Stromfabrik. It's a very nice place in the Eifel. So it's 90 minutes south from Cologne. The owners of this place, they are festival organizers as well. They had a big techno festival. It's not happening anymore because they have their location now. But yeah, it's an awesome place. And cycling in the Eifel is next level. Super
Absolutely.
nice.
It's at the border,
Perfect.
right, with the Netherlands.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's super nice. They have like it's called Vulkaneifel, so they have volcanoes like
Yes.
the Maren, which is underground volcanoes, and the top of a volcano is filled with water. So there's a lake now. It's a perfectly round lake, and in the end, it's the top, it's the summit of the volcano, just under the ground.
That's incredible. It sounds really
Yeah,
good. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And when it is gonna be? I don't know. Probably you
Uh,
told it, but you told me, but I
yeah.
forgot.
No, August 7 to August 10. So
Ah,
in
so
3 weeks.
almost there. Nice.
Yeah, I'm in the last preparation period now. So now it's getting stressy actually.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's actually the nice final question. I don't know. First off, the final question. Do you have anything to add that we didn't touch base on, Raphael,
Mm.
and that you want to mention?
Maybe I don't know. I've got, because we spoke about like the events now and making it exclusive, and I don't know where most people are coming from your podcast, but maybe what is also an important point, I've got different ticket prices based on income, and then I've
Yes.
always got ticket prices for local people,
Mm-hmm.
because in Germany, or you're living in Switzerland, for you it wouldn't be a big deal, but for people from Spain, France, Italy, they usually, on average, they earn less money than people from Germany or Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
So I made sure that it's fair to them, and also people from Poland and Czech Republic, it's always hard for them, I guess, to pay the high entry fees. So I'm offering cheaper tickets for them as well.
That's super nice.
Yeah.
And this is actually everything around the inclusion that
Yes.
you
Yes.
always mention. Yeah, that's super nice actually. And I mean, it's super inspiring to hearing somebody. I mean, there are a few I have to mention of people that are making it loud in this way for having most of the time the community. Everybody's doing their homework, I would say, for the kind of community inclusion point of view. But actually people like you, people like Domi from the cake movement, they're making it as something as, I mean, it's really a commitment statement that they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's why it's super exciting hearing that these kind of events are taking places with these values. And
Dominic is coming to Gravity. He's doing a panel discussion with other event organizers, and then Iris, the clothing brand.
Yes. She was on my podcast 2 times. I never met her in person, actually, Iris.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, but they're all coming, and we do a panel discussion like exactly about this topic, sustainability and inclusion in cycling, and how long can we keep the work that we are doing now, because of course it's also a big financial pressure on
100%.
us. It would be much easier if you just, like we talked about it earlier, if you put your money in social media ads and do like shitty social media work, and then it would attract more people probably, but then it loses the values and visions. So there will be a panel discussion. We've got 5 or 6 guests, on a panel discussion, and they're talking about this topic.
So basically there's going to be Iris in terms of actually your clothing brand, right?
Yes.
Then Domi in terms of his events, and then you actually probably pick and cherry pick the most valuable people in the... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I've got Nils. He's doing Hackenpedder. This is one of the German smaller events that not many people in the international bikepacking scene know. But they are doing the base of the jobs. They're super nice events. They make it very, very easy to access. Same like Steppenwolf. I'm actually quite influenced by all of them.
Okay.
And then it's Janina from Cyclist. It's a female cycling collective.
Okay.
And Leen is from Belgium. She wrote Sneak Peeks last year, and she and her 2 friends, they all finished Sneak Peeks. They did a new event. It's called Monumental Gravel, and they've done it, I think, 2 months ago or 6 weeks ago. And they had a very nice approach on how to run the event. So yeah, I invited all of them.
That's super nice. I mean, panels, discussion, putting this word outside is always good.
Yeah.
Not for bragging, of course. You don't have actually to flex on how cool I am because I'm doing these things sustainably or inclusively. But it's just talking about things. And then people can take it's not going there, look, I'm cool, you should do like I do. But that's another way of doing things.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing that actually is going to change people's mind. At least people are thinking about that. Yeah.
And hopefully other events are going to change as well. Like I know there are many great events, and they're doing a great job. Actually, I texted one big event. I don't want to say any names here, but it's like an event, like one of the new gravel events. And I saw that the organizer, he has in his bio, in his Instagram bio, he has climate activist, and then on the website they all claim blah blah blah, sustainability, nature, and then but the way how they're running their events, they've got thousands of riders flying to the event. And I asked them, I was like, hey, I'm a very small event organizer, and I'm just curious, how do you combine all of this? Your event looks like the most unsustainable event from the outside, but maybe I don't see it. Maybe it's my mistake. Yeah. But please explain how you can put these claims on your website, write it in your Instagram bio, but from the outside it looks like it's not sustainable at all. And then they ignored me. Then I sent them another mail, and then they answered, but the response was like a proper ChatGPT bullshit response. And this really, really frustrated me. This was kind of these are our values. We do everything to follow these values, but in reality, we do bullshit. And I was super frustrated when I
Yeah,
saw this, and I was like, okay, maybe we have to just keep going and to make it visible and to show other event organizers there are ways and there are many, many things to improve. And maybe it's going to take 2 more years, 5 more years,
of
10 more
course.
years. But if we slowly go there, it yeah, it makes a difference.
Absolutely. People are going to start thinking and checking things and reading things with a bit more critical
Yeah,
eye instead of just, okay, sustainability, done, checked, let's move on. That's
yeah,
it's something that probably people need to think about it.
yes.
Raphael, last question. What's next? We already talked about events or whatever. What's next with you? What's next with Orbit 360? Probably we're gonna
I
talk again in 3 years, or maybe 5 years, or maybe tomorrow. Things even developed even better and even more. But I mean, at least let's talk about future.
Yeah, I've got two more ideas. So next year, I'm definitely what's coming is a sneak peeks trail running edition
Nice.
because I like to combine. I was running when I was a kid because my trainer he like kind of penalty training, and I like I was quite fit. I did two 100-kilometer run when I was
Jeez.
younger.
Oh
Yeah, yeah,
wow.
yeah. So but now last year scouting sneak peeks, I started to run a bit in the mountains. I was like, whoa, this is nice. Like when I was running before, I run in Berlin, and yeah, I mean running in Berlin is not that nice.
It's like
And then
cycling in
running
Berlin. I'm not gonna repeat it.
yeah, exactly. uh, but then running in the mountains, it's more like a mixture of running and hiking. I'm not the proper runner. Like for me, it's just go out, have fun, do a bit of sports, and go to nice places. So sometimes I run, sometimes I hike. Um, so this is coming up 100%, and I'm actually looking for um, another. I want to come up with a new idea. It would be both running and cycling, and this should be entry level, like entry fee 30 euro something. And I want to make it a bit bigger, bringing people together just for a weekend, not that very big bikepacking expedition in the mountains. It's gonna be local, it's gonna be in Germany. I'm still looking for locations because it all starts with a payable location. If you don't find like a good location, then it's difficult to keep the entry fee low. Um, so there's something cooking, but I'm not ready to yeah to release it yet.
Yeah.
But I hope it will come next year.
That's nice. Something that I wanted actually to mention, and I like actually to put it on records. I could also say, look, listen, wait for a second, I'm going to tell you later. But because they're really good friends of mine, and they're also supporters of Zier since day one,
Mm.
there is actually this roastery company that is run by two amazing persons, and it's called Vertical Coffee. This year, they made actually this combined riding, so bicycles and trail running event called Back by Four, and the
Mm.
concept is in pairs like the mountaineering kind of events, and the concept is just insane. Go check it. I will not disclose anything else. Back
Okay,
by
I'm gonna.
Four by Vertical Coffee. Write it down, people. It's
Yeah, yeah.
incredible. I mean, Denise and Simone, they are doing amazing things. And this is one of those. They're really supporters of the Swiss cycling community, but sport community in general. They come out with their own event, discovery rides on gravel, on roads, because they live not so far away, but in another canton, Canton Argau,
Mm.
that is amazing for nature. And they always do these things thinking about things outside of the box. And we mentioned
Yeah.
that actually my episode with Emma Pooley went live a couple of months ago because she rode it, she actually raced with it with her dad a couple of days before my recording. So it's everything there. Check on that. I think it's actually combining these two things and doing it in person with two people, so also strengthening the couples and the pairs is a thing that actually probably is next level.
I guess it's one person running, one person on the bike, and they have to finish
Exactly.
together.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have no,
I've
but
I've
the
done this already. It's nice.
But actually, the catch of it is that the person that starts on the bike needs to finish running.
Nice.
So
Nice.
it's
Yeah.
one bike for two person. That's another level of difficulty
Yeah.
because you need to be more or less the same height. But still,
Yeah.
it's good because both of you need to experience both of the
Yeah.
both of the sports or both of the of the timeout. And
Yeah.
I think it's super fascinated. So
Yeah.
fascinating, really, really
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah.
And I mean, if
Super
you want
nice.
to get in contact with them so you can sharpen the concept, give me a shout. I'm
Yeah.
happy to.
I'll let you know.
Nice people
Definitely.
need to meet. So
Yeah.
and they're also supporting the events of Domi as well. They're a really good friend of Domi from Dead Ends and Cakes and the
Nice.
Cake Movement. So we are all in the same bubble, and it's super amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. Sounds good.
that's good. Raphael, thanks a lot for our chat. It was incredible and
Okay.
super nice as usual.
Thank you very much. It was good to see you, and then maybe see you in like at the end of the summer, and then next podcast in 4 years, I guess.
Yeah, or even next year. Let's see. Or even tomorrow. You never know.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Bye, Raphael.
Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.
And thanks a lot, Raphael, for this amazing talk. Oh, why not everybody does things in this way? Again, the thing that I really love about Raphael is that he doesn't talk. He actually lets his action make the talk for him. And that's the way of doing it. Making things happen. That's the way of doing it. Raphael, you are just amazing. I'm not going to be super long on this closing wrap of the episode because I talked a lot before. I'm just going to mention thanks a lot, Hand Wheels, for supporting this episode. Your sustainability project is great. Your inclusion values are amazing. Your products are really good. And the people that are working with Hand, they are really, really, really wonderful people. You want to talk with me or you want to give any feedback, just Calamaro CC or BroomWagon Podcast on the Instagram. Share this episode with your friends, subscribe and rate on your podcast provider of choice. That's everything I have to say. Next episode, I have a bunch of episodes still in the backlog. I recorded. Another one is going to be recorded in 2 days for me. But something cool is coming. And if you happen to be in Zurich on August 28th, just check the link in bio because... No, it's not the link in bio. The link in bio is going to be on Instagram. Check the link in the description below because we're going to have the movie night, Zurich Cycling Movie Night number 2. I just baptize it in this way. And it's going to be with Le Coursier, Marie de Saint-Exupéry. And we're going to watch the film produced by Albion and Pertex and directed by Philly Newmark. I will see you there. The ears are going to be on us. Ciao, people.